Hello there, everyone. Welcome to the RPA Semifinals match. This week, your Mistralton City Mews are going to be taking on Coach Cart of the Tennessee Voltorbs. So, I have done very extensive testing on this game. Their team, it seems like that my Chien-Pao King just sliced through them, but the due to like the intricacies of like every single game, I just have to test everything and anything just to kind of iron out what things can go wrong because despite Chien-Pao King having a very good matchup here, a ton of stuff can go wrong. So let's just get into their team and like what all can go wrong. First up, they have Palafin. Palafin, although it needs that turn to activate, it still freely gets that turn with Flip Turn, and plus they just hard switch out of it anyways. Though granted, their Pokemon has to come in and take a hit if I have like Chien-Pao or Nidoking in. But Palafin, it hits really hard. I fully expect a Choice Band set, like Jet Punch. Wave Crash can actually 3-hit KO Suicune if it's Adamant Choice Band, which is absolutely terrifying for max HP, max defense. So, yeah, and even then, it can still use close combat to actually 2-hit KO it. And it gets nice coverage with Zen Headbutt or whatever. Realistically, it only needs Wave Crash close combat. That's all it really needs. Wave Crash hits everything except Suicune and Cyclizar, and Cyclizar is going to be getting 2-hit KO'd anyways. Bramblegast ain't gonna be able to stand up to 2 wave crashes, even if it's like max HP, max defense. And Suicune just gets bombed by close combat. Palafin's like really scary. I only really have Zapdos and Suicune to keep it in check. If it's Bandit, I can try to play around it, but if it's any other item like Life Orb or like Mystic Water or something, it's going to be pretty difficult to play around. Next up is Golden Go. This is one of the Pokemon I initially circled as being afraid of until I discovered the rest of the team. So Golden Go, it blocks like Defog from Zapdos with its ability Good as Gold, which kind of negates any status moves, I think. Yeah, negates any status moves. It's got a great Steel Ghost typing, being able to take Ice Spinners from Chien-Pao, and one of the sets that I really found problematic was either like a Choice Scarf set, Choice Scarf to like outpace Chien-Pao and hit it with a Make It Rain, or a Air Balloon set that could wall Nidoking Steel Stabs. Golden Go was just a really problematic Pokemon, and I think they 100% bring it. Except they have Sylveon. Sylveon was another problematic piece, despite the fact that I have a Nidoking. In testing, I found that I just could not get Nidoking in because my automatic answer for Sylveon is always going to be the Scizor or the Screamtail, either one of them. Scizor always is Mystical Fire Bait, and I can't just U-turn and go into Nidoking because Nidoking's a special attacker, Mystical Fire lower special attack, and Nidoking wouldn't be able to 2-hit KO it. So I had to get a bit creative and prep, but we'll say that for later. But Sylveon's very annoying. It can wish to heal up the rest of their very bulky team. Get some nice wishes going into Palafin or Golden Go. Golden Go doesn't really need it because it has recover, but if it's an offensive set, it can very much use that recovery. Another Pokemon they could use this for is Mega Cameruptor, Alolan Muck, or even like Regidrago or Breloom. Stuff that can't really get nice recovery, but still would appreciate that. Next up, they have Vikavolt. Vikavolt's an option for Sticky Web if they don't want to go like Trick Room. Vikavolt, it's also like really good as like a physical wall or just like a special wall, just a nice defensive piece. It's a bug electric type with Levitate, which offers a lot more defensive utility than you think. Being able to reliably check ground types and being able to fire off nice special attacks with that base 145 special attack stat. overall it's a nice piece. I'm not sure if he does bring it because I feel like there's other Pokemon that do better in this game. It's it still hits hard, and yeah, I won't be surprised if he brings it, but in testing I found out that although Vikavolt nice, I feel like there may be other better picks. Like this matchup, I could realistically see him bringing eight Pokemon. The only issue is he has to compromise and take six. So Vagavolt's one of those eight, and another one of those eight is Cresselia, except I think Cresselia definitely shows up. Cresselia is it can be used as a defensive piece with like Toxic Thunderwave spam, but its main bread and butter now that Terra exists in Gen 9 is a Terra Electric or Terra Poison Calm Mind Sweeper. It got access to Lunar Blessing, I think, in Pokemon Legends Arceus, which heals at 25% but eliminates any status condition. So that's a big thing for something that's kind of bait for a toxic poisoning. And even then, it could Terra Poison and avoid or toxic poisoning anyways. So that's Cresselia. It's very, very tricky to play around if you don't have like taunt or some other tool to deal with it. Either you stop it setting up or you just try to like do some Perish Song shenanigans. So yeah. Next up they have Regidrago. Regidrago is another one of their Terra captains. Pretty underrated member of their team in my opinion because Regidrago is pretty threatening. I didn't play much against it in prep, but one note that one of the people who helped me prep said was watch out for Terrifier Regidrago. And the more I looked at Regidrago, the more I found out how threatening it was. Because Dragon, like any Dragon stab, is going to be boosted by Dragon's Maw, and the rest, whatever coverage he wants to run, can hit the rest of my team. So Regidrago is a very, very threatening piece, and if it goes Terra Fire, it can resist Ice Shard from Chien-Pao, which would be my main way to revenge if it's like a Dragonette set. So Regidrago is very, very threatening. Next up, they have Mega Camerupt. Mega Camerupt is probably one of my more favorite low-tier megas, along with like Mega Audino and Thing Mega Sceptile. But Mega Camerupt is a very, very hard-hitting special attacker, think like Vikavolt, but it doesn't get reliable recovery. With Sheer Force, its Lava Plumes and Earth Powers hit for insane damage. Suicune can't really switch in on it. I don't really have a safe switch into this, which is very threatening indeed. And in testing, I faced a Toxic set, which gave me a lot of trouble. Nidoking and Suicune can hit it hard, but I have to keep those things alive versus the rest of these threats that Nidoking has to come in on Sylveon to do any damage to it, and Suicune has to come in to take hits. It's going to be a tricky dance to play around. Mega Camerup's one of the 8 that I think would come. So, yeah. Next up's Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck I'm not really anticipating coming because I have a Nidoking and it's just Nidoking bait. But it's a very, very bulky poison type that typically runs Assault Vest, and it gets like Crunch, Knockoff. Well, actually, you never see it run Crunch. It gets Knockoff with Poison Touch, which is super duper annoying, and it gets some nice coverage too. I think it gets the Elemental Punches to kind of hit the rest of my team, along with Knockoff to remove items such as Zapdos Heavy Duty Boots, to set the ground for like hazards from Quagsire or Glammet. And it's a nice ground of poison type so it can absorb Nidoking Toxic Spikes. And yeah. Next up is Breloom. Breloom's another Pokemon, or it's the final Pokemon of the 8 that I thought would come. Quagsire, I guess, is also one of them, but yeah. But Breloom is a really, really hard hitting Pokemon. Although it's only base 70, it hits really, really hard and gets priority Mach Punch to hit Chien-Pao, Bullet Seed, Rock Tomb for the Zapdos. I can realistically see it running Focus Sash, and I'd have to get a bit creative to just kind of dance around Breloom because I know it's going to be his first response for Suicune. So I have to get a bit creative to dance around that. And yeah. Next up they have Kamala. Kamala is one of the low tier picks that I actually really, really like. It's a base, like, I think 60, 65 speed rapid spin Pokemon, but it can run like so many other things. It can run knockoff. I think it gets Wood Hammer too, but its main utility is rapid spin, although you can run more than just that. If it comes, I would expect AV. That's all I've ever seen it ran against me. So, yeah. That's what they have Glimmet. It's their 1 or 2 point bad Pokemon, quote unquote, even though it has a lot of nice utility. It can hazard stack. It can do all the things that Gomora can do, but a little bit worse. I don't really anticipate it coming, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes. It's kind of in the same boat as Muk and Kamala. I don't see it coming, but I can deal with it if it comes. And finally, they have Quagsire, bulky, unaware Pokemon. I expect Fizdef to deal with Chien-Pao or Infernape. So, yeah, that's enough about their team. Let's get into my team, if I can navigate over, because we're not on the matchup just yet. So, here's my team. So, starting things off, I have Chien-Pao. Choice Band, Sort of Ruin, of course. Ice Spinner, Ice Shard, Crunch, Psychic Fangs with a nice little intricate EV spread. 92 speed, adamant nature guarantees I outpace their fastest Pokemon being Palafin. 56 HP, 100 speed def. I think this is to take like some hidden power fire from like a +2 Cresselia or something. I forget. It's been a minute since I've looked at this game. 8 defense was what I had left over, but yeah. Ice Spinner Crunch generally hits their team super hard. Psychic Fangs is there for the potential of a Terra Poison Cresselia. Initially, this set was going to be heavy duty boots, but I found out that versus the Cresselia, I had one of two options. I had to kind of dance around it with shenanigans or overpower it. Choice Band with Psychic Fangs guarantees that I can overpower it while also be able to live a hit since I don't need to put as much into speed this week. So that's the rationale with Chien-Pao. I want to get this in as much as I can to just kind of break the game open or quit at late game. Next up, I have Nidoking. Max speed, max special attack, pretty much 248 Timidus to outpace max speed Golden Go. 8 Spadef is what I had left over. Y4 Sheer Force. Pretty standard set, except I have Taunt over Substitute. Flamethrower, Earth Power Sludge Wave hits everything neutrally super effectively. I had Flamethrower there for the possibility of Air Balloon Golden Go, and Taunt's there to kind of stonewall Cresselia, because I know Sylveon's not going to be wanting to stay in, so I can't really Taunt Wishes on Sylveon, but Flamethrower's there for Air Balloon Golden Go. Nidoking can slap Cresselia pretty hard if it hasn't gotten set up yet. And Taunt strives to do just that, stop it from setting up. But if it does get set up, that's what I have Scream Tail here for. Scream Tail guarantees outpace the Palafin. I don't really know why I decided to do that, but it's fine. Terra Water is to deal with the Palafin. Oh, before I go, Terra Steel on Nidoking is designed to pretty much shut down Cresselia. Granted, he could Terra Fire Terra Blast or like some other super effective versus Steel Terra, which could be something to watch out for. But I think I'll live one hit at +1 before Nidoking can go down. But that's the general thing with Nidoking. Scream Tail, leftovers with a Wish Protect, standard set. This is pretty much my dedicated lead. I want to get Stealth Rocks and just try to chip his team down on switching because I noticed his only hazard remover is the Kamala. So I wanted to take advantage of that Stealth Rocks to just set hazards and kind of punish his stuff for switching in. Going to be useful for breaking sashes on Breloom. Wish Protect to keep the whole team healthy and to keep Screamtail itself healthy. And then Perish Song is the tech for Cresselia. Cresselia is... I had one game where I played myself, and I just swept myself with Cresselia. I had, I had like 5 Pokemon versus that one, and I reverse swept myself with Cresselia, and ever since then I've been running Perish Song on this. And that just shows how integral Chien-Pao is to the plan. So, but if Chien-Pao goes down, I have the backup option of Perish Song on Screamtail. So, there's that. Next up, I have Zapdos. This is a Fizz Def set. Enough speed to outpace Breloom. Sweep Talk, Roost, Discharge, Heat Wave. Sweep Talk is the tech for Breloom, just to absorb a Spore and be able to still be somewhat useful while it's a sweep. Static is there because, well, it's Zapdos. It's going to static spam anyways. I forget what this EV spread does. It's been a minute since I tested, but this is a Fizz Def set. It's pretty much for like Breloom and Palafin. Pretty much Breloom. Palafin, I've figured that Suicune can handle it. So this is my dedicated Breloom answer, and Discharge Heat Wave hits everything for as hard as Zapdos can hit. Next up, I have Suicune. Suicune is a sub-call mindset with Air Slash Scald. Enough speed on this to outpace Breloom, with pretty much max HP, max defense, and the rest. This thing can still take hits from Palafin, while also being able to outpace Breloom and hit it with a super effective Air Slash. So, yeah, that I don't think I really need to go into specifics here. Final slot was Scizor. I have Occaberry to absorb a Mystical Fire from Sylveon. U-turn, knockoff, bullet punch, roost. Pretty much max HP, max special defense. But you notice the 20 speed IVs I have. This is to guarantee underpace or underspeed or whatever. Anyways, Sylveon's going to be guaranteed faster than this if it's a base speed set. Like it has no speed EVs but has 31 speed IVs. So Scizor is going to be able to guarantee underspeed the Sylveon, U-turn into Nidoking, so that way Nidoking doesn't have to, get hit with the Mystical Fire and have its special attack lowered. This is something I felt was important in prep, and I hope it will be important in the game. So yeah, that's my team, and well, the game's already been done, so let's get into the game. So you can see his team. I was really surprised to see Kamala. Quagsire I could have saw coming because it was brought against me in mock battles. So yeah. So here I think I led with no, I led with Scizor. So I went with Scizor to get the U-turn off, and so turn one, I thought to myself, okay, what's he gonna do? What does he want to do? And I reasoned to myself that he probably wanted to quit Scald on my Scizor, because Scald versus my team is kind of free. So I didn't think he'd quit. I didn't think he'd be crazy enough to quit Toxic versus a Scizor. So I U-turned out and went into Suicune. Suicune was always my first thought in dealing with the Quagsire. So I go out into Suicune as they quit Toxic Spikes, which was their tech for Suicune. And they go into Breloom as a sub, just as I expected. So right here, I kind of went for an aggressive move. I clicked Air Slash because I had faith in the Suicune tech, but this is a very unnecessary risk on my part. It paid off, but I can't really emphasize how dumb of a decision this was if it was sashed. Granted, he had to win a 70-30, which I think he would have won anyways, but if he was Sash and Bulletsy got more than 3 hits, I I would have lost Suicune. Like, I would have lost Suicune outright. I could have gotten Chien-Pao in or something to kind of swap the team hard, but you'll see why this is important later. So, right here, I just decided to quit the aggressive air slash. I had faith in the tech, and it paid off. Braylon's already out, and Golden goes in, so I start setting up Calm Mind. As they set up alongside me with Nasty Plot, I set up another Calm Mind, and they set up another Nasty Plot. So here I quit Scald as they get Scald burnt and they attack. Granted, this wouldn't have done a ton to me anyways, so I would have been okay. I quick Scald again and knock that thing out. As Palafin comes in, I quick sub again because it was still Palafin 0 form, so it wouldn't have been able to break my sub anyways, as Kamala comes in. And Kamala, I quick Scald 3 times. I think they do manage to break my sub. Quick knockoff gets a crit. I don't think the crit mattered. It would have broke the sub anyways, but sub's broken, but I killed the Kamala. So Suicune's already putting in a ton of work. Palafin comes in and quits combat, and I quick air slash just to get a bit of damage off. Now here I switch into Zapdos as I quick combat again, and so right here I'm fully expecting to double into Camera after Quagsire. So I double into Nidoking because I know I can take the close combat since I know that's banded. So I go into Nidoking as they do go into Quagsire. I Terra Steel to absorb a water move a bit better, but they end up quick an EQ, so it didn't matter anyways. Nidoking's done. Nidoking isn't really as important right now. I sack it off to the Palafin as they flip turn and go into Camerupt. So here I go into Suicune just to get a Scald off. I figure they don't really have a reason to, like, switch out. But a quick Scald and I just barely don't kill the Camerupt. But it's fine because Chien-Pao can come in, quick crunch twice, and end the game, just like it did a week ago. So we end up winning the semifinals of RPA, and we advance to the championship match to play a man who bested us in week 5, Coach Quick of the Dallas Dockspun. So I'm super duper excited to get my rematch versus him, and hope you're excited for my first championship in a long time. So, with that being said, I will catch you all in the final duel. See you guys then.